Okay, the character sheet in Roll20 is awesome, but did you know you can do some remarkably useful things with it? Hey folks, I'm Alex Story, and welcome back to The Fire, where I talk about Dungeons & Dragons and help players and Dungeon Masters alike make their games better. And today we're taking a look at Roll20, which is my virtual tabletop of choice, but we're digging deeper and taking a look at some advanced things you can do with the Roll20 character sheet. Today I'll highlight 6 advanced character sheet tips for the discerning Dungeons & Dragons player here in Roll20, and here they are. First, I'm going to show you how to use and add and track your resources, like arrows, rations, whatnot. I'll show you how to add in unique features and abilities. So, for example, if your race has like powerful build, I'll show you how to add that into your character sheet. I'll show you how to add custom descriptions. I'll show you how to navigate to the hidden menus, which have some pretty awesome things in there. And of course, the last tip you're going to want to stay to the end of the video for. It really added a whole new layer of interaction to my games. But first off, let me show you how to track resources in Roll20. So, to do that, all you have to do is navigate to your character sheet. So I already have my cleric character sheet. This is the pre-made cleric from Lost Mines of Phandelver. And once you have your character sheet open, I am going to show you how to track your resources. And it's pretty simple. If you scroll down in your character sheet, you're going to see these 2 little boxes here. That's a class resource and other resource. You can add more if you have more than 2 of these resources. You can hit the little plus button there, and you'll have a lot more resources there. If you need to delete, if you added too many resources, hit that little lock button, and then you'll see the little trash can, and you can delete it from there. Of course, it's not going to show. Let's see if I toggle off and on. Yeah, see? Yeah. Sometimes Roll20 isn't perfect, but sometimes you have to navigate to a different page for it to show any deletions there. But yeah, that's how you add and remove those class and other resources. And these is a great place to just add whatever you want. So let's say I have, like, I don't know, a magic item, and I wanted to add in a charge. So we can click on where it says other resource to name it. So I can say rod of 7 parts charges, right? So let's pretend we have that. And then I can add in, this is the amount that I have, and I put the total amount here that I have. And as I use the charges, if I hover my mouse over this little arrow, I can click the down button to basically just track it in the moment. So this could be charges for a magic item, for example. Now that's more manual, and it's not really linked to anything, but it's a useful way to kind of track your resources. Now here's how you can link it to your inventory. If you scroll down just a little bit more to your equipment here, you'll see all the stuff that I have here. So this character has chainmail, shield, all that kind of fun stuff. But if we go all the way down to torches, I have 10 of those. And let's say my DM is being a stickler and really tracking how many torches I'm using. I can make it easy for me to track those in the moment without having to, go in and like turn this to 9 or whatever as I use them. If I click on the little eye, it's very tiny. I actually might need to zoom in. No, I'm zoomed in all the way. If I click on the little eye there, I'll zoom in a little bit. If I click on the eye, when I hover over an item, click on the little letter I, it'll bring up this menu here. And see where it says use as a resource? If I click on that, boom, now I just have torch that just popped up in my resources. Now I can add my total there, and if I put the down arrow here and I click off, it actually will change it in my inventory. And you can see how the total weight goes down as I use more and more torches. So that's a useful way to kind of link a resource over here directly to your inventory. So for example, we do the same thing with our rations here. Let's say our DM's very specific about making sure that we use our rations and track it. Now I can track these every day. I just take that down, and I can add more to it that way too. If I find, I don't know, like some wild game, and my DM says I can add more rations to my inventory. So that's a quick way to add resources. Now I'm going to blow your mind by showing you how to track ammunition, because this is a really cool tool that, albeit is a little bit limited, because you need to have the Pro subscription to Roll20 to do this, to use what they call their 5G OGL companion script. To get access to the API scripts, you do need the Pro subscription. So that's just a little caveat here, but I'll show you how to do that, because it's pretty awesome. So I'll open up this fake fighter folk hero here who uses a longbow. And what I want to do, if I want to make sure I'm tracking my arrows here, is just like before, I go down to the arrows and I make sure it's set up as user resource. It is. And then when I hit the gear on the top right here, I'll get this secret menu. And we're going to go through a lot of this stuff in the secret menu in just a moment. But if I go all the way over here to where it says ammo tracking API required, I want to make sure that's turned on. It is. And I'm going to go back to my main page here. And the last thing I want to do is under where it says attacks and spellcasting here, I'm going to hit the gear icon. And where it says arrows, or ammunition, I want to type in arrows, right? I want to make sure that word under ammunition matches what I have over here and what's in my inventory. And now when it's all set up, watch what happens. Whenever this character is going to use their longbow, it uses up one of the arrows, which is a really cool way to track your ammunition, so you don't have to manually go in and check it. So that's a really awesome tool, and it'll knock it down in your inventory down to 19, and obviously in this resource it'll knock it down to 19. So as you use your longbow, it'll track your ammunition for you, and you can do that for all sorts of things, hand axes, what have you. You can do that and track your resources. The next thing I want to show you is how to add global modifiers. So what is a global modifier? Think of a global modifier as anything that adds to your roll, maybe temporarily. So think like bless. Bless allows you to add a 1d4, or depending on the cleric, usually a 1d4. And so think of like bless. Bless allows you to add a 1d4 to your attack rolls as well as your saving throws. And sometimes it can be a little bothersome if you're doing a lot of attacks while you have bless on your character to keep on adding that 1d4 and going back and doing the math, and that can be tough. So let me show you how to do that automatically. So by default, the global modifiers aren't available. So I'm going to show you how to engage them. Go ahead and hit that gear in the top right corner like I showed you before. And when you scroll to the right over here, see where it says show global save, global skill, global attack, global damage. I'm just going to hit check on all of them so you can see what I'm talking about. These global modifiers are super, super useful. So I'm going to check in all those. And now when I go back to my core page, you'll notice there's new stuff in here. So I have here's my global damage modifier. I have my global attack modifier, which was already set up because I had the fighting style for archery. And then you'll see on the left here, I have my saving throw for bless. And, down here I have my saving throw for skill checks. So let me show you how to set them up. So they have some suggestions, right? So bless is already that 1d4. So they already have this preset up, and I can just hit the, just type it in here. Add the 1d4, and boom, that's set up. And now if I have that checked, every time I roll a saving throw, see, it already adds that 4 to it. Awesome, yeah, so that's how you quickly add those global save modifier. And what's really cool is if you don't have bless enabled, you just uncheck that. And now when I roll a saving throw, it's not going to add that extra d4 to my rolls. And wow, I'm just really lucky or unlucky because I just rolled 2 natural ones there. But yeah, I'm just glad I got those out of the way right now. So same thing over here with the other global modifiers. You can see towards the middle I have my global attack modifier. This would be a great place to add in another bless. So here, once again, it already has it set up as an example. So I'm just going to make sure I have that typed in, 1d4. Oops, not 14d4, but 1d4. And I'm going to hit the little gear icon again to kind of set it in place. And now, when I make an attack roll, so I shoot my longbow again, it's going to add that roll as well. And I keep getting a lot of doubles. Is it weird that's happening? Yeah, cool. I'm just a weird lucky guy today. Okay, so that's how you can add those modifiers. There's even more. So let's say, for example, you wanted to add an AC modifier. If we go down here, this would be a great example for their example is the defense. So defense is like a fighting style you can add in. But let's say I just have half cover, right? So half cover adds 2 to my armor class. So I'm going to just go ahead and hit that gear. And if I have half cover, see how it automatically adds my AC by 2? If I uncheck it, I'm not under half cover anymore. It's at 14. That's a quick and easy way to, add stuff. So you can set this up in advance. So think about all the spells and effects that your team has. Let's say they have haste, for example. Haste is another spell that adds 2 to your AC. So I can just add in haste. And boom. Now that's set up. And now I just got to check this box next time I'm hasted, right? So that's pretty cool. Anyway, those are global modifiers, so those are really, really cool. Now let me show you some more hidden menus here. So if you click on that gear, you can find all the hidden menus here, and this is where you can add in some special attributes that you know, make you kind of more custom. So if you are, for example, a large creature like the new GIF, they have powerful build. You can check that, and all this does is it affects how much you can carry. So your carrying capacity will go up because you have that powerful build. But you know, you can, all the different effects happen based on these checks over here as well. You can add in, if you have multi-classing, you can do all this stuff here. You can add in some custom class options, custom spell slot modifiers, custom save modifiers, all these different things. Like, let's say you have a magic item that your DM gave you, like a custom one that affects any of these things. This is where you're going to add that. You can also add Jack of all trades. So if you are like a bard, for example, this is where you'd add that, and it would make all your skill checks correct. And you can also get your passive perception modifier adjusted, and also affect your initiative modifier. Let's say if you have the alert feat, I'd be able to go in and add the 5 to my initiative modifier because of that. Now over here on the far right, this is where you get some really exciting hidden menus. And one thing that I really like are the where is it? The Exhaustion Tracker. So if I click where it says Show Exhaustion Tracking, I click on the toggle here, hit on. Now when I go back to the core page here, I have this little icon right here that shows exhaustion level. And as I get levels of exhaustion, it'll tell me what the effect is. So if I have 1 level of exhaustion, so I have disadvantage on ability checks. If I hit it 1 more, now I have, my speed is halved, and so on, right? So it's a quick, easy way to reference, if your DM uses exhaustion, what's going on, and like, you know, how that affects you as a player. So these are some cool custom menus. There's some other things that are less used here, like spell points. Like if you're in a campaign that uses spell points instead of spell slots, this is where you enable that. You get hero points here for like more epic campaigns. You'd also have piety too. So it's some different custom ways different ways to play D&D. You can toggle those features in your character sheet over here. Now, one thing that's really awesome is the short and long rest button. So see where it says short/long rest? If I hit on, now when I go back to the core page here, look at that. Now I have a short rest button and a long rest button. So let's pretend, so I have 5 hit points here. I'm going to go ahead and hit long rest, and boom, now my hit points go all the way to full. Alright, let's say, this doesn't really work too much. I guess it will. So let's say I had it short rest, and I'm down 1 hit dice. Well, that's a long rest, right? So, yeah, it's going to just reset if I hit long rest anyway. But you can kind of see. And you can see that the exhaustion level is going down as I take more long rests, by the way. Isn't that cool? So, yeah, that's a cool, easy feature with these hidden menus in the Roll20 character sheet. The next thing I want to show you is how to add custom descriptions. So I'm going to go back to my cleric here, and this is a really fun way to add flavor to your character if you want to spend time and just, you know, make things a little bit more than just the generic spells that you use. So if you want to add a custom description, you can do it in a couple different places. So if you're doing an attack, I can go in over here to like under attacks and spell casting. I can go to the spell or weapon attack that I want to add some flavor text to, and I can hit the gear button. So let's use Sacred Flame. I'll hit the gear button and see where it says description. Now I can add in some flavor text if I'd like to, and it'll shoot it over to the chat whenever I use Sacred Flame now. So I'm going to go over to Describe. So Describe is an amazing tool. This is not sponsored or anything, but I use it all the time to kind of add in some flavor text to my games. And for players, they have all the spells in there. So you can just flavor text for every single, well, almost every single spell in Dungeons & Dragons. So I'm just going to copy this, go back over here, and just paste it into my description. Now, when I hit Sacred Flame, I get all that fun flavor text in the chat here. So that's really fun. That's an easy way to add custom descriptions. You can go in there for every single spell. You can go in there for your axes and whatnot too. So this is the hidden secret that I talked about at the beginning of the video, and that is a way to add GIFs to your attacks and spell rolls. GIFs are an amazing way to kind of add a little bit more flavor that your fellow party members can see, and give you kind of like a quick idea of like what might be going on when you use a spell or make an attack. And I'll show you how to do that. So all you have to do is find the GIF that you want. So I'm going to go over here to Giphy here, And I have this little laser here of this, like, you know, person walking down shooting some I-beam lasers, probably Clark Kent or something. I'm going to right-click on it. I'm going to hit copy image address, right? And I'm just going to paste it into my browser here. And just so I can see the actual image address. And so the one thing that's kind of important is you want your image address to end with .gif. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this last little bit here. And I am going to copy just the part that ends in .gif. I'm going to go back to Roll20. And now, when I go into the spell that I want to change to add a GIF to, I'm going to delete this description that I had before. And this is the secret. You want to just type in open bracket, whatever you want. You can put, I'm just going to call it laser because it looks like a laser. Close bracket, open parentheses, paste that image address for your GIF, and then close parentheses. So that's the command. Just open word, close bracket, open parentheses, the link, the image address, and then close parentheses. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead, and now when I hit Sacred Flame here, now I get a little GIF in the chat. So it's a really cool way to, you know, add a little bit of flair to your games. But anyway, I hope this was an amazing video for you. I hope it was useful to your Roll20 and Dungeons & Dragons games to add a little bit more customization, add a little bit more flair, take out all the math so you don't have to really think about next time you roll a dice, do I add a d4 or not? It just automatically happens for you. So I hope that was useful. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button. And please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/dungeonfire, where folks get access to the Discord, as well as my homebrew content at least once every month. So with that, have an amazing day. Bye.